Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi. Uh, Today we are going to start a new topic in chapter number 7, lesson 7, which is Talibun wa Talibatun. We've already done perfect tense in chapter 6, but we did third person masculine singular, which was huwa, and which means he. And we did third person feminine singular, which was hiya, which means she. Today, we are going to look at second person masculine singular, which in English is you. The pronoun for that is you. And second person feminine singular is also you, but in feminine form. And also, we are going to do the first person singular, which is I. So let's get started. These are the topics we will be covering in this chapter. And the first one being perfect tense. So let's get started. So perfect tense basically over here, if you see Aina Darasta Ya Ahmad, where did you study Ahmad? Over here, if you look at this subject marker ta basically represents you masculine, which is, if you see over here, anta is the pronoun for that, and it's second person, that is the two for masculine and singular. So this ta with any perfect tense, which is past tense, fi'l madi, will represent you in masculine form. Over here, if you see Aina darasti ya Sally, where did you study, Sally? So over here, if you see second person feminine singular, which is anti, so this subject marker over here that you see, when you see it with past tense, with fi'l madi, this will represent you in feminine form, which is anti. Here, if you see Darastu fi Beirut, I studied in Beirut. So this is basically two, this subject marker two, when it comes with fi'l madi, it will represent first person singular. It can be masculine, it can be feminine, any. So ana is the pronoun for that, and this is the subject marker. Now, let's look at this chart. So we've already, basically this chart covers daras. Daras is basically you can say the stem, the root, not the root letter, but the root letters are dal, re, sin, ra, sin, sa, sin, but daras is basically the stem, which means study. Now, when you want to say he studied, darasa. When you want to say she studied, darasat. When you want to say you masculine studied, darasta. When you want to say you feminine studied, darasti. And when you want to say I studied, that is darastu. So you see these subject markers over here represent the person. Is it first person, second person, or third person? And also if it's masculine or singular. So these are different. Hadara will become hadara, hadarat, hadarta, hadarti, hadartu. Similarly, raja, which means returned, will become raja'a, he returned. Raja'at, she returned. Raja'ta, you returned, masculine, and raja'ti, you returned, feminine. And raja'tu means I returned. So similarly, all these verbs are conjugated with their subject markers, and that is how their meaning change. So these are the subject marker that you see. Fataha on the fail madi, then you see at attached with fail madi, then you see ta and ti, which means you, and then tu. So these are the subject marker which will through which you can identify who is the the subject, the doer of that verb. Now over here, if you see a small point, that when it is darasta, which means masculine you, or darastu, which is first person, which means I studied, or you masculine singular studied, that is darasta, darastu. When it is ended, you can just say darasat. So if you just want to say I studied, you will say darasat. Let's just wait. And darasti will actually stay the way it is. You will not make any changes over here, but over here, daras, right? So So if you see darasat means here, but daras means I studied or you studied. When you want to, when it's in the end, you have to put an identical pause. So here the context will determine which person are they talking about. It's a small point. Spoken Arabic is like that. You sometimes don't say the last haraka when you are ending the sentence. And like I said, the rasti will remain unchanged. This you have to say the kasra in order to emphasize that it is feminine second person. This brings us to the end of this topic. If there are any outstanding questions, please feel free to ask, and inshallah, one of us will be able to help you. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi.